Welcome back everyone to Better Building. I'm ExoPluto and I'm happy you've joined me today. So what is Better Building? Well, basically every time we come on here in this survival world, we're going to be trying to improve our building. Last time we built this lighthouse over here, and that's actually our creeper farm. So we got plenty of gunpowder, but the problem is our elytra. I don't have mending. Here's our mine, here's our little starter base over here in case you missed it last time. I started building this big mountain over here, but I said, nope, I'm not going to do that, and instead I'm going to put the mega base right here, so that'll come later. This bridge here, our nether portal, and a farm over there. So we've done all this building, and we've got our elytra, we beat the game, we went to the end, we got everything, but I don't have mending. And if you'll see over here in my little storage room, all my other elytra are also just about dead. So I really need to get mending, and I've been playing the game so far without villagers, without an iron farm, without anything like that, but I think it's about time that we get some villagers and we start to really take things to the next level. So I think that's what we're going to do right now. There's actually a village not too far away right here. You can do it? There you go. Okay, now we got a bit of a journey ahead of us. All right, boat time's over. Let's get you on this thing. Come on. Boat time's over. Get on the thing. Okay, I've got these two locked up in their little dirt palace over here. And I'm going to make a villager breeder out of this in a little bit, but in the meantime, I've got some amazing news. I've finally learned how to make some decent trees. So let's head over to the creative world, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I have been struggling with trees in the past, but these I think look pretty decent, and they're really simple to make. So these are spruce trees or pine trees or something, and basically they're not the most detailed or the biggest things in the world, but they're super easy, and I think I could make these in large enough numbers that this would look good as like a forest. So basically what you do is you start with some roots down here, and you come up a little bit, and then I was playing around with what's a good transition block, and I thought maybe like a pot here, decorative pot, but just to break up the fact that you're coming directly from spruce to the wall here. But actually I think you don't even need it. But then you come with a wall, mud wall a little bit all the way to the top, and then you just start placing leaves like this. And the leaf placement is really pretty easy. You just come do a tall thing at the top, and then you come slightly off to the side at the beginning, and then as you go down you branch out more and more, and you keep it pretty sparse. And honestly I think this looks pretty decent. You put some walls here for the branches, and then you can put the floor here. You can do some terraforming. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do on the survival game. Back on the survival world now. Before we set up our trees and do our terraforming and all that, I think we need to build our villager breeder. So I got all the stuff that I think I need for this, and let's get that built and we'll go from there. Okay, in theory, we should be all set here, and these two should start making babies. Let's see if we get some baby villagers. Wait a second, where'd the villager breeder go? I can hear it, can't see it. While I was waiting, I built this hill on top of it, and you can see it is working. Down here, we got the villagers kind of growing up over there, and I can get a minecart to take them out at any point. So we got that done, and now we've got this space here ready for a build. So I do want to do the terraforming with the trees and everything soon, but I also want to do a pretty cool build here that'll serve as our kind of villager hall. I had to do it. I could not wait. Had to get some mending here. So we got our villager set up. It's only 29 emeralds. Pretty good deal. Let's do it. Here we go, mending. I definitely need a better XP farm. This is our little makeshift zombie spawner farm here. Just waiting for something to spawn. Anybody? Oh, there you are. See, stuck. Oh! Ah! Okay, yeah, definitely need something better. Sweet, look at that. We've got a fully mended elytra, fully repaired. So now we can finally fly around freely without having to worry about that. So let's go back over here and see what I've kind of planned out over here. So I've kind of laid the foundations of where I want this build to be over here. And then I also started kind of laying out our forest a little bit. Just put up like 3 pointy sticks that will eventually become trees. Of course, we got our mending guy over here. And, or, wait, which one? Actually, this guy is the silk? Yeah, I got a mending and a silk touch guy. So I think next I want to start on the build and we'll get to the forest later. For this build, I'm going to do a very similar palette to what I did over there with the lighthouse. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'll just show you here. So I've got the bottom is it's going to be a gradient coming from cobblestone to andesite to this light gray concrete powder, diorite, calcite, and then finally white concrete. So we get this kind of, it starts pretty dark, gets a little bit less gray, and then finally we start to mix white and gray, a little bit more white with the calcite, and finally the white, pure white at the top. So that's kind of the gradient that we're going to use for this build, and I think that looks pretty good. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, time for the reveal. And a 1, and 2, and 3. There it is. Yeah, I think this is looking really good. Let's take a look. I'm not done with it. This is just the overall structure of it. But let's get a look from over here, maybe? I don't know where I'm going. Okay, yeah, we can see it from afar. So I've got these kind of archways here. I think it looks really good. And I think the plan is to put the villagers inside of the archways so I can start trading with them there. And then I used, the same gradient that we talked about here. And I just gave it some nice shape. And I give it this tower here to kind of, I don't know. I just think it looks good. I also added some cobblestone, no, what is this called? Deep slate roofs to kind of break it up from the spruce roofs here. And let's get a look at it from a couple different sides. So I actually did do the back. I didn't do any detailing yet, so that's next. But the back doesn't look too bad. It's just a big wall. I don't know. Whoa. I guess I also have to finish the hill here. Yeah, the back is just kind of a big wall here, so maybe I'll put some plants or a garden or something. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think the next thing to do is to build up the details around here. I'm going to put like a little garden area here as well and put some windows and stuff. And also I want to break up the roof a little more, so I might mix in either some mud bricks or maybe some jungle wood into the roof. Yeah, let's get to the details and we'll see what it looks like at the end. So the first thing to do is build up this little garden area around here, and I think this makes a pretty good hedge-looking thing, where you put the azalea bush down here, and then you put a moss block on top, so it looks like we have a hedge surrounding the entire garden here. I think a park bench could look really nice here, so we'll just do some scaffolding like this, and we'll put some of these bamboo trapdoors, and we got ourselves a nice bench here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then probably want to put some flowers and stuff, flower petals, stuff like that around here. Yeah, looking pretty nice. Alright, I think I have the garden where I want it. So we've got these bushes and stuff coming up to the entrance, then we got the hedge, we got our bench over here. I planted some flowers all around, put some more bushes. And then I also made this kind of garden area over here. So I think this is looking pretty good. Next, I want to do stuff with the building. So it needs some windows. I need to change up the roof a little bit and just do some more detailing on that. So that's up next. Okay, what do we think? I think this looks pretty good. We got the windows in here. I used scaffolding for my windows. And I also got some vines. I made a trip to the jungle and got some vines. And I think that looks pretty good, like an overgrown whatever. Um, yeah, this is coming along. Haven't done anything with the interior, and I also haven't really done the backside yet. But I think next I want to do the forest thing that we started over here, because the idea is we're going to be coming from this side most of the time, and we're going to be coming through here, and there's just going to be a little bit of a forest area to come through here, and when you finally get through, you'll see this nice trading hall. Let's go through and build up these really simple trees here, but I think this is going to make this look a lot nicer because we'll go through this tree entrance. It'll separate these other builds from this one. Yeah, let's fill out some more here. All right, let's see how we did over here. What do you think? I just spent so long on this, and it barely looks like a forest at all. This is going to take a while to get all of this done, but at least I've got a good chunk of it done for the entrance here. So I've got the path coming here from the main build over here, and as you come along the path, you got the lamppost, and you get the forest now. So I've got a bunch of trees built here. I kind of terraformed a little bit as well. I put some bushes, I put some different plants, some different rock formations as well. I've still got my villagers kind of hanging out down here. Yeah, it's like a pleasant entrance to the main build area over here. And oh my gosh, this took a really long time to build. Like, no joke, these things, I thought these were really simple trees and were going to be really easy to duplicate everywhere, but wow, it took a long time. I will say about these trees, I think I wish that they were a little bit bigger, but again, that would take so much longer. You know, for what they are, I think it's pretty good. And I think it actually looks a little bit better from a distance. Let's come up here, get a look from atop our tower. Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought I had the silver bullet here for trees, but I think maybe we can still even do better than this. But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Anyway, I do think that this forest and these new trees are worthy of a sign, just to commemorate when we did this. Let's see, it is May 2025, and that'll help us to remember when we were building in this style and when we built these trees. I did that for the tree over there. I wasn't super happy with how we built the tree over there, but you know, I put a sign up there saying April 2025, so we knew when we built that. And hopefully this is a little better. I'm not so sure, but hopefully every time we're improving somehow. You might have also noticed I got rid of the hanging vines on this build because I actually ended up not liking it so much. And you might have also noticed that I've got a bunch of random villagers creeping around. Listen to this. Yeah, I've got so many villagers down there. Yeah, I think probably not now, but in the next episode, I'll have to get all of my villagers sorted out, get all the trades that I want. Somehow they're escaping. But yeah, I think just to get this episode out, I will probably end it around here. I will give a little spoiler as to what I'm thinking for the main build over here. I've talked about it a little bit, but I was never completely revealed what I wanted to do for this main build on this island over here. So let's get maybe a flyover of everything. Okay, so the first mine, the big tower over here, all these builds around, but this big island in the center is where I want to do the mega build. And basically, if you've heard, I think it's pronounced Mont Saint-Michel in France. There's this big castle, like on an island. I'm not sure if it's on an island or just elevated on some flat lands, and it looks amazing. And I kind of want to do the same thing over here. Maybe not exactly Mont Saint-Michel, but something similar, inspired by it. So that's the idea. So hopefully we can come up with something awesome. Anyway, this has been Building Better with Exopluto, and thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.